Hello everyone and squids, this is Squeeva here, or Andrew Phillips, depending on where you're watching this from. And I'm going to be giving another presentation on code. As you realize, I've been doing a lot more presentations and a lot less code lectures. Hold on, it's going to be noisy. Terribly sorry about that, I had to position my mic. Anyways, as you know, I've been doing more presentations and a lot less code, or a lot more lectures and a lot less code throughs. That's because I tend to like presentations a little more than just coding it, because there's a lot less that could go wrong, and you know, I don't really have to refer back to much. It's just easier for me, and I like it. It's more professional. Anyways, what is JavaFX, and why is it better than Swing? JavaFX is a graphics library that is more efficient and more customizable than Swing. If you've ever used Swing, you know it's very aesthetically unappealing, and you kind of have to do a lot to make it look nice, and it doesn't run as fast. I mean, JavaFX doesn't run that fast either, but Swing runs even less fast, so yes. In this tutorial, I will go over the basics of UI design. That is false. That is for the next tutorial. UI design is a little more complicated, and it warrants a tutorial of its own. And FXCSS. Or I will do some UI design, as in like making UIs, but no multimedia like combo boxes, sliders, checkboxes, things like that. That'll be for the next tutorial, which will probably be either directly before or directly after the Node.js tutorial. Okay, I also go over the creation of action events and lambda notation. I'll go over what lambda notation is. So let's start off with the absolute basics of JavaFX. So yeah, let's start coding. This is how you create a basic JavaFX application. So I'm going to go through all of this. We have the class, and realize that it extends the superclass application. It's probably abstract, because this is a polymorphic method. Then you just run the JavaFX scene, or the scene graph as we call it, which is here. This runs this. Start stage S. This is the method we call. This is what is called when we say launch args. It's a polymorphic method, which means it inherits all of the attributes of this function in the application class, plus we can add our own attributes, which is here. Okay, and then we add s.setTitle. This is a new JavaFX application. That's just going to be the title of the window when we run it. The stack pane. I'm going to go into like different types of panes in a second. Actually, no, I'll do it now. A stack pane is pretty much just something that puts all the elements right on top of each other. So you really don't use it other than testing. And we're going to use a stack pane here. You use a pane if you want to put things anywhere you want, and use a border pane if you want to put things in the borders. We do pane.getChildren.add button. As you can see, we can't use this. This will throw us an error because we do not have a button in this thing. I just copied this from code I wrote earlier for my computer graphics class. I did not copy this code from the internet. This is completely my code. And then we'll do scene. Scene is equal to new scene. And this object, this scene object, will add in our pane, which is our stack pane, and the size of the window. So the scene is more of like our window. So that, hold on. So the stage is the window. The scene is everything in it, like everything. And then the panes are view portals, which you can look at things in. They handle everything that's in the graph, and the scene handles all the panes. So you can have multiple panes in different locations. And then you just set the scene to the stage, and you show the scene. Or the stage, I'm sorry, you show the stage. This is necessary, or you'll just get a transparent screen. Alright, let's move on. Ah, yes. Buttons. So, here's some code. Notice that we have added it to a pane, not a stack pane. See, it says notice. Pane is a regular pane, not a stack pane. So we need to create a new button object, and just set the text. That's the same thing as Swing in Java. That's the same thing as Swing in JFrame and JPanel. But this is where it gets a little different. We have to add that node to the parent object, or in this case, the pane. And we create our pane here. So really, this goes before all of this. And if you were coding this, you would leave this object out and then just copy all of this and put it here. But anyways, So now we look at how to position it on the graph. So realize how it's a regular pane, we create the object, and we create the button. Here's how we set the X and Y. Layout X, layout Y. And then, yeah, that works. And it has to be a regular old pane. Of course, you can set the sizes with set size, or no, I think it's set width and set height. Not entirely sure, but it's something along those lines. So, if you're in Eclipse and you just type in set, like S or something, control space, if that doesn't work, say it set. If you do set S, capital S, control space, if you don't get set size or something, then try set W, control space, and if you get set width or set height, then you're on the right track. Okay. Alright, action events. So assume we have a button on the center of the screen. The button is named button. Now let's look at the following code. So we have a button, and when we click the button, we're going to call this thing in here. So if you've worked with, with different JFrame key events, then you know what this is. You got a new event handler. So this indicates what type of handler we're using. In this case, as an action event. You have mouse events, action events, and key events. This here is the method. And I'm not really going to go into the nitty-gritty of this because it gets shorter in lambda notation. It gets much easier to write and much simpler. So we have here public void handle. This, in this method, tells us what we do when we click the button. Okay? Now let's move on to the lambda notation. And you realize it's the same thing, except instead of having that new, event handler action event and the method in here, we can just have an E arrow, and it's a little hyphen and then a greater than sign, brackets, and then in here we can say if, I don't know, I mean, usually you don't need the if, you can just do if. So this assumes you have a slider. So in a slider you could do if something. If you don't have a slider, then you could just do something, whatever floats your boat. Okay, on to the next topic. And I'm going a little fast, but leave in the comments if anything's going too fast and I will clarify. Yes, okay. FX CSS. This is one of the great things about JavaFX, and this is why it's better than things like Swing and Aught. You can do CSS styling, which makes it much easier to get very pretty looking designs. So we have here our root node. So this is the entire pane, and in the pane we're going to set the background color to this with a linear gradient. If you should know CSS, and this should be familiar. So I'm going to go right on to how do you add it to your main program. So it's really quite simple. All we need to do is add the file to our scene. Assume we have the file test.css. So the first thing we need to assume is we have some type of a pane and some type of a scene. And then really it's just one extra line of code, scene.getStyleSheets.add test.css. And then we'll go into how to customize buttons and things in a second. But that is how this line and this code is how you customize the background and the scene around you. Now, how do we add CSS to a button? Well, suppose we have a button with the class Galaxy Blue. And one thing to realize about JavaFX scenes is you can add multiple classes to something, but you cannot add multiple IDs, just like in CSS. So, of course, this is the background of the button, because it's going to look kind of like blue, black, blue in a kind of a gradient manner, so it looks like a galaxy. So you'll have a linear gradient, and then we'll have the drop shadow and the fonts. This here's the CSS code to making a Galaxy Blue button. This is my own original code, just putting that out there. Now, how do we add this to our main program? Well, it's really simple, really simple. Assume we have the following button. So assume we have a button. So we know the first thing we need to do is assign it the class and then add the style sheet. It's as simple as that. And I will put all these, well, I don't know if I'll put all these functions in the description. I think I will. I should. I will. So there we go. And closure. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. I will make more tutorials on JavaFX soon. I will go over multimedia objects and UI controls. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're viewing this from my blog, then please follow. If you're following this from Google Plus, then please +1, all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Adios.